Hey everyone, today on my channel I'm just going to be playing some Zelda A Link to the Past because honestly, why not? In honor of A Link to the Past's 20th anniversary a few weeks ago, so it's not the exact anniversary, but Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past is in fact 30 years old now. So, sort of in honor of its anniversary, I'm just going to be playing this. This is probably one of my favorite of the older Zelda games, the pre-3D Zeldas as it were, and even some of the newer Zelda games I actually prefer over some of those. So today I'm just going to be playing, well, for fun, and doing silly commentary. If I sound different at all, it's because weeks ago, I came down with the you-know-what virus, and I'm still sort of recovering from that. Never fun, but it is what it is. So, I'm just going to be doing one of the dungeons. This is the third Dark World dungeon I'm going to go to. Get rid of all these mean little critters here. See if I can get some extra fairies. A couple years back I did a pretty lengthy review of this game, which is sort of my pride and joy. Yeah, I'll keep it in a bottle. And I am playing this, by the way, through the Nintendo Switch Online. And so, that is why you'll see some stuff on the sides, and of course I'm using my clunky old camcorder, but it works for this one. And I'm just going to be running through the Dark World. So I'm going to go to the third palace, which is the Skull Woods Palace. I'm just going to see if I can knock out that dungeon tonight. I haven't even buffed my Master Sword yet. I'm still using the level 1 Master Sword. Or in this case, my sword is level 2, because the crummy little sword that my uncle gave me at the start of the game is the first sword you get in this game. Yeah, sometimes I just love going back to these old games. Honestly, Super Nintendo was really the peak of 2D gaming, I think, in many ways. Whoop, can't go there. So we're gonna have to go to the light world, use the Mirror of Magic to go to the light world, the world of light. Goodness, why is my freaking neck bothering me? Oh well. Try to ignore that. Head on up. Head on up to Kakariko Village. And the possessed castle knights are now everywhere. These are, of course, Ganon, or rather Aghanim, a minion of Ganon, possessed them. At the start of the game, so they now think they're evil. They're not actually bad guys, but they're possessed by the evil wizard Aghanim, who, spoiler alert, is actually Ganon in disguise, but we're not supposed to know that. Alright, through the Lost Woods, back down. What I think about these older games, though, just in general, is there's no really wasted space or time. They get straight to the point. They don't really do a whole lot of padding. I mean, yeah, compared to like most modern games, they're a lot shorter, but sometimes, you know, they can just be, compared to like many modern games, it could just be more fun, you know, they don't focus on like adding a whole bunch of fluff. So these are the Cursed Woods, the Dark World version of the Lost Woods. Some jagged skulls. We are trying to find the skull worms, that little weird plant Venus flytrap thing. Took a bite out of me. And what's cool about this dungeon actually is there are multiple entrances and exits. However, this is also one of many players' least favorite temples in this game because of that the hands that come and grab you and then warp you to the start of the dungeon, which are admittedly rather annoying, but let's see how far into this dungeon I can get, because the final boss of this dungeon is pretty cool, if I do say so my own self. So we shall see. Try to oh, darn it! Because I am a Nintendo Switch Online member, I'm actually able to play with a Super Nintendo controller tailor-made for Super Nintendo and Nintendo Switch Online games, so that's pretty cool. And I got the dungeon map. There's that annoying sound when you're low on health. I'm gonna try to ignore it. And down I go into the pit! No. Philips CDI reference. I know I'm not supposed to talk about those. But seriously, one thing the Philips CDR games are is very quotable. Not because they're good, they're horrible. Like, they're horrible games, but the voice acting is atrocious. But they are sure quotable. So there's that, and kind of bungle this up because I took the chest. So I had to fall in the hole. Here's a Moldorm. Let's get rid of this guy. And I can't get this chest yet because I don't have the big key. Oof. So what we want to do now is find another entrance to this here temple. This temple has a lot of entrances and exits. So, let's go ahead and find that other temple entrance. Right here. Right here. I don't even know if my channel is called Dana's Game Reviews. I haven't really done many game reviews as such in recent years. It's sort of a whatever channel, which I'm fine with, but I'm just sort of playing games for fun and just offering some commentary and, you know, just trying to put some cool stuff out when I have the time. Yep. See if we can avoid getting captured by those hands. Like, those are called Gibdos. They're basically mummies, but underneath their shrouds or their wraps, they are actually Stalfos. So, at least in this Zelda game, Gibdos are Stalfos. And gonna pull this here statue over to the switch and go through the door. Oh goodness, goodness! Goodness! Why you gotta be? Can't you burn it? Oh, I guess you need the fire rod or whatever to burn these things. Whatever. Oh, whatever. Goodness. I sure came a wee bit ill-prepared. Pick up the... Yeah. Oh, jeez, I got turned into a bunny. Crud! Some of the controls for picking up items is a little stiff for this game by today's standards. Everything else works fine, and normally it's not even a big deal, but... Oh hey, I got the big key! Looky me! Now I can get the big old treasure chest. So... out I go! This is nice, this dungeon is fairly non-linear. Hopefully it's a foretaste of what Dungeons Breath of the Wild 2, or the sequel to Breath of the Wild's dungeons might be like. The thing about the dungeons in these older Zelda games is they're a little more hit or miss. Like, some of them really just starting in Link to the Past are pretty cool, and then others just kind of suck. Like, the 3D Zelda games, the dungeons, I think, are a lot better done. They're a lot more diverse and have a lot more of an identity. There are, of course, a few... Not every dungeon in the 3D games are a home run. Like, you know, you got your water temples and your, you know, stuff like that, but by and large, I think the dungeons in the 3D Zelda games were, like, much better most of the time. But, all that to say, Link to the Past, they really started to hit their stride more in terms of, like, dungeon design a little bit. And, like, because the dungeons in, like, the first Zelda game are more or less just copy-paste, but just with different, harder enemies the more you progress. And then, of course, with Breath of the Wild, they had divine beasts rather than really traditional Zelda dungeons, as well as 120 shrines. So it was sort of a mix of the two, in a way. You didn't hear that from me. Tee-hee-hee. I gotta find a small key to beat the dungeon with Mr. McKee. Or something like that. Alright. So the Dark World has a whole bunch of corrupted, weird enemies, including these plant enemies. And then, of course, earlier, there were those giant one-eyed things called the Hinoxes, which just chuck bombs at you. The Hinoxes finally made a return after many years in Zelda Breath of the Wild, and they're way more fun to fight in that game, just because you can, like, shoot them in the eye and stun them, and they're way more dynamic. Like, here in, like, Link to the Past, most of the enemies, like, well, it really depends. Because, like, in the very first Zelda game, almost all of the enemies, like, the only major differences were, like, how they looked, like, the palette, like, the texture. They more or less all function the same way. That said, depending on how they were coded, some of them moved a little bit slower or faster, like the frickin' blue Dark Nuts or whatever. In the very first Zelda game, those things were a real pain, but, by and large, like, most of their difference was, you know, visual rather than how they functioned. Here in A Link to the Past, they started to make the enemies a lot more unique in terms of their behavior. Which is pretty nice. elsewhere, I guess. Sorry for all the back and forth. It's been a while since I've played this game, and more specifically played this dungeon, so you'll have to be a little patient with me. Now I can use this, the fire rod, and crud, I should have purchased some potion. No matter, whee! Nice thing is, if you kill enemies with the fire rod in A Link to the Past, you can actually, take magic bubbles from them, like that. A small key. So yeah, this is kind of like just sort of a fetch quest. It's not even really a fetch questy dungeon, but I feel like this is a dungeon where really the main point is just to find a crap ton of keys until you finally make it to the final boss chamber for this dungeon. It's sort of, in a way, I just made this comparison. In that way, it's kind of like a bit like the Forest Temple from Ocarina of Time, because that dungeon was also very focused on just finding a crap ton of keys. Of course, there was a little more to it than that, like, you know, finding the 4 Post Sisters and, you know, making the hallways all twisty-turny. But there's still a lot of that applied. And yeah. And like this, it was also sort of a spooky-themed dungeon in a way. Although this is sort of a precursor to both the Forest Temple and the Shadow Temple in Ocarina of Time. Because, like, this was the first Zelda game to really touch on themed dungeons in a way. Like, it had... Well, not every dungeon was specifically uniquely themed. It does have, like, the Swamp Palace, which is the second Dark World Palace. Now I got 2 keys. Why not? 2 keys, triple the fun! It had the Swamp Palace, and it had, like, the freaking Ice Palace, which I can't stand that dungeon. It's not even, like, the ice that, like... Whee! It's not even, like, the ice part of the Ice Palace that I can't stand. It's more like just the progression is just really kind of a pain to deal with. Alright, where do I go now? Continue game. No, man, I want to look at the map. God, I can't read these old maps for crap. The 3D games really did a much better job with, like, the dungeon map, like, visual progression. But actually, no, there's one part... I remember what I gotta do now. I gotta find another exit so I can find the big turtle head and shoot it with the arrow. There we go. I wonder if I can even find myself a shortcut. Yep, here it is. Whee! And it's like a giant, almost like a Hydra head. And now I've blasted it open, and in we go. Just gonna stick my trusty old hook shot, which is probably among the top 3 coolest items in all of Zelda. I really, really hope they bring it back in Breath of the Wild 2 in some capacity. Like, the first game didn't really need it, because you could essentially climb anything, and it might just sort of cause you to be able to cheese the whole world, but I really hope they bring it back in the second one. Like, find a way to, like, contextually make it make sense, because hookshot is just so cool. And then in Twilight Princess, they make it even cooler and give you the claw shot. Skyward Sword, they kind of nerfed it. Like, it's still a pretty cool item in Skyward Sword, but, like, its utility is a lot lessened compared to Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was a cool-ass hook shot / claw shot. Especially late game. It becomes a real... so much fun. In the Wind Waker, they had the claw shot, the hook shot, as well as just the grappling hook, so... Alright, so this is a puzzle. We gotta light all the torches. Pretty standard Zelda puzzle, but, you know, it's cool. And this was still pretty early in the series, so it hadn't really... The whole torch lighting slash block pudding puzzle hadn't really overstayed its welcome yet by this point. Got rid of Zombie Man. Sheesh, I hate these. Oh, you son of a gun! You did not just freaking do that. So I try not to curse in my YouTube videos. So I try to keep this. I wouldn't even say PG anymore, but PG-13. Oh, goodness! So... It's like, how am I supposed to dodge that? That's legit kind of bad design. That's like the one thing about this dungeon. But, you know, I just wanted to make a fun video, so now you're gonna get to see my sort of... what I'm actually like as a gamer. Don't get me wrong, I do love this game, like... And I even mostly still enjoy this dungeon, especially the boss, but... You know, I'm also a human, so I'm gonna, you know, do what gamers are wont to do. Which is... mash and... Alright, well, it's not that hard of a puzzle. Sure! Ah! At least I got one more fairy! And I think that might be getting pretty close to the boss room, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it's the Helmasaur. Honestly, I love, like, the first palace in this game is... The first Dark World palace is fantastic. That has one of the coolest looking bosses in the game. It's called the Helmasaur King. It's basically this giant dinosaur with a big mask on it. You have to bash it with your hammer and then destroy its mask and then basically hack at it with your sword. That boss embarrassingly took me a long time to defeat because I was young and dumb, but... Yeah, this is totally the boss room. And... Heck yeah! This is Mothula. It's like a... Well, it's a giant moth. Really. Let's see if I can... kill it with my fire! What would you suggest, Doctor? Fire! Lots of it! That's your solution for everything. Alright, we got this. Got this! Ah, frickin' spikes! I hate these frickin' spikes! Ah! We died. Have no fear. We are going to take this on again, so I'm going to come back after I get some blue potion. Alrighty, I am back. I got some blue potion and some red potion. So one just for my health and another for my health and my magic. Haha. Alright, round 2. I guess I could have used save states, but I was like, come on, that's a little cheap. Although if I were playing Castlevania... Alright, these Jello blobs here. Like, I remember even in his review, Nightwing01 did of this. He, way back in the day, he did a review of Link to the Past. And, you know, Nightwing01 also loves this game like I do, but I remember he said he didn't like this dungeon. Basically, just because of the hands, the hands, so... Which I understand, they can be annoying. But... honestly, like... the hands in, like, the Force Temple in Ocarina of Time, those things got nasty. But yeah... bit of a shout out on... Nightwing01 still does videos, which is awesome. I've been following him for years, like... But he did a review of this game way back in the day. Really good review. Alright. Through the fire and the flames I carry on. Oh, yeah. I ain't even gonna pay no heed to y'all. Oh! Oh! That stupid hand! Gosh, oh, gumdrop! Oh, I'm a wolf! Yes, I made a wolf noise. Deal with it. I like to think the wolf is my spirit animal. Either that or the bear, because it kind of looked like a bear. Look like a Northman! I actually saw the Northman last night, and I was very happy as a Norwegian American. I felt very well represented. By Alexander Skarsgård's portrayal of Amleth. Definitely a very well-made movie. I definitely would not, under no circumstances, recommend it to younger audiences. It is probably one of the most, you know, violent movies I've seen. But, just so you're aware, but it is, like, the cinematography and all that is just magnificent. So... just a little shout out. I'm gonna ignore y'alls. Y'all are annoying the crap out of me. Not that I'm easily annoyed, as it is. Come on, you stupid hand. Yeah, what? I freaking dodged that! Okay. That was some bull crap there. That was some bull crap. It's like at least... it's like, well, those guys are still scary in the 3D games. At least I have the courtesy to give you, like, a shadow, so you actually have some time in advance to, like, move out of the way. Like, yeah, they're still scary and kind of annoying, but they're not as annoying as they are in this game. But I was just gonna play whatever dungeon was next as ceremonially for the 35th anniversary, and this just happened to be the next one. And honestly, it's whatever. You know, seeing somebody have unexpected stuff happen to them can be fun for audiences. It's part of the spontaneity of the Let's Play. This isn't a Let's Play, this is just sort of some random gaming. Alright, now we gotcha! got this, dude. We gonna win it. This is just an altogether, like, hard dungeon. Nothing about this dungeon lets up. Not even the boss. The boss is hard, too. What the frick? What the frick happened there? I'm not doing this again. You are going to kill this giant moth, and you are going to do it now! Ugh! Yes! Thank you, oh goddess Hylia! Extra heart container. Alright. We rescued the third maiden that Aghanim had sent to the Dark World. Alright. Pizza! Because of you, I could escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. Do you know the prophecy of the Great Cataclysm? This is the way I heard it. If a person who has an evil heart gets the Triforce, a hero is destined to appear! And he alone must face the person who began the Great Cataclysm. If the evil one destroys the hero, nothing can save the world from his wicked reign. Only a person with the Knights of Hyrule who protected the royalty of Hylia can become the hero. You are of their bloodline, aren't you? Then you must rescue Zelda without fail. Do you want to hear? Do you understand? Yes, not at all. Yes, I understand. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce! Alright. Well, y'all, thanks for watching. That is gonna do it for me today, but no, this is a fantastic game. I really do love this game, and bounced my camera there a little bit. Thanks for watching me get through the kind of rocky there through that third dungeon, but we did it. And happy 30th anniversary to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Well deserved for such a wonderful game. And I will see you next time. Bye.